welcome to the channel. In the coming days, we can expect another update. So in this video, we'll go over the most important changes that will be introduced to the game. I'll start with what interests you the most, the new 2-star legendary gem called Manaflux, and I'll share my thoughts on it right away. Generate 10 mana over 20 seconds, and upon reaching 10 mana, using a skill will consume all your mana to play a card. And here it's worth noting that, in my opinion, the description is unnecessarily complicated. The gem can simply be activated once every 20 seconds, just like most other gems. If you are above 50% maximum life, you play Ragnaros, who hurls a fireball at nearby enemies, as long as there are enemies nearby. If you are below 50% maximum life, you play Acidic Swamp Ooze, who spits acid at nearby enemies. Both attacks deal 310% base damage plus 1217 to enemies within the area. I think it can be compared to the effect of Starfire Shard or Igneous Scorn, a one-time additional attack. So essentially, it's something that stopped being viable quite a while ago due to the presence of much better legendary gems. However, it's worth to remember that. Additionally, Ragnaros' attack burns enemies for 30% base damage per second for 4 seconds, and Acidic Swamp Ooze's attack silences enemies, preventing their use of skills for 4 seconds. And precisely the 4-second silence effect might be the key when looking for a use for this gem, because for players with a huge amount of potency, it could actually be viable. On the other hand, Cure Sling offers a full loss of control for 4 seconds, and no one really uses it anymore either. So in this case, I also have serious doubts about the gem's overall usefulness. The only real advantage of Manaflux is that it combines 2 effects from older gems into a single gem. So in my opinion, if a high resonance player wants to slightly lower their resonance in exchange for a partially defensive mechanic that disables enemy skills around them, then Manaflux might actually be worth considering. For free-to-play and low spenders, in my opinion, this gem is not worth it, unless the effects end up having some spectacular range. But when it comes to the silence mechanic, it's almost certain that these players won't be able to take advantage of it, due to the much shorter duration tied to lower potency value. As for the new familiar, unfortunately it's just a skin tied to a Hearthstone-themed merch promotion. A real shame, especially considering I've already saved up around 300 contracts, hoping for something more meaningful. Speaking of skins, there will also be a new purchasable skin available for your character, as well as a new Phantom Market skin. As for the feature update, here's what's coming. Inferno 4 to 8 difficulty combat rating updates. Vanguard Charm inventory management improvements, and Wild Brawl legendary gem updates. Legendary gems that use resonance gems for gem power to remain active will no longer become dormant during Wild Brawl. Finally, new Survivor's Bane changes and Paragon Tree unlock simplification. Elder Rift gem pool changes and Survivor's Bane Druid Skill Edition. Lastly, I saved the upcoming event, which I assume is meant to be exciting for players. But to sum up what it will actually offer, it simply adds extra powers to old activities that we all know far too well already. Unfortunately, it's just a rehash of the same old content, with just a minimal hint of additions, but nothing new.
Collect and earn powerful cards from the Hearthstone universe to augment and imbue your powers. These cards, based on iconic Hearthstone cards, will be around to influence your gameplay with legendary effects. Collect epic cards and dispense chaos to all for a limited time. Play in revamped game modes as you've never seen them before. Trial of the Hordes and Fractured Plane will be altered with dramatic card-based mechanics that warp gameplay. The Heroes of the Hearth event hub is your place to check in on your progress towards earning potent cards and other rewards. Acquire powerful cards to bolster your greatness. All cards can be earned through the Heroes of the Hearth event hub and are either common or rare rarities. If you decide to purchase one of the Hearthstone-themed bundles from the in-game shop, you'll also get a random free card as a bonus. Each card you collect grants special affixes that can be applied across various game modes, augmenting your power. Collect and wield these 18 classic Hearthstone cards in the Enchanted Plains and Trial of the Hearth game modes. Here's a closer look at the cards you can earn. Mage. Polymorph. Common. You have a chance to transform nearby enemies into yaks. Polymorphed enemies take increased damage. Ice Block. Epic. Instead of dying, become immune to damage, heal yourself, and release a blast of ice, dealing damage to and freezing nearby enemies. Warrior. Bash. Common. When you deal damage, create a damaging area and gain a shield that can resist damage for a few seconds. Blade Storm. Epic. When you deal damage, a storm of blades surrounds you, dealing damage to nearby enemies and blocking projectiles. Hunter. Explosive Trap. Common. When you take damage, an explosion occurs, causing damage to surrounding enemies. Snake Trap. Rare. When you take damage, become immune and summon 3 Hellfire Deceivers that spit poison at nearby enemies. Priest. Holy Nova. Common. When you take damage, you release a blast of light that knocks nearby enemies back, dealing damage and healing you. Shadow Form. Epic. You have a chance to enter Shadow Form, increasing your primary attack damage and firing shadow projectiles that deal extra damage. Warlock. Flame Imp. Common. You have a chance to summon an imp that throws a fireball at you and nearby enemies, dealing damage and applying burn. Defile. Rare. You have a chance to mark nearby enemies with Defile. Marked enemies are damaged, and if they die while marked, spread Defile to other unmarked nearby enemies. Shaman. Wind Fairy. Common. You have a chance to gain Wind Fairy, increasing your primary attack speed. Lightning Storm. Epic. You have a chance to trigger a damaging lightning storm becoming overloaded, reducing the cooldown all skills. Paladin. Blessing of Wisdom. Common. You have a chance to gain Blessing of Wisdom, during which primary attacks will reduce the cooldown of other card effects. Lay on Hands. Epic. You have a chance to restore life and refresh all skill cooldowns. Druid. Swipe. Common. Your primary attack deals extra damage to the target enemy and damages other nearby enemies. Ancient of Lore. Epic. When you take damage, heal and reduce the cooldown of other cards. Rogue. Backstab. Common. Deal extra damage to undamaged enemies. Preparation. Epic. You have a chance to shorten the cooldowns of all your skills for a short period of time.
Unfortunately, this update doesn't bring any new essences for the Druid, but as always, thanks for watching.